morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, right? September 27th. It's a Wednesday. My name is Joanne. I'm super pumped that I get to be here with all of you today. Dave is a little under the weather, so I get to fill in. And it's been a while. It's been a few weeks since I've been hosting, and I'm super pumped about it. I'm super excited. So for those that are new here, my name is Joanne. I am the Director of Marketing and Live Training here with Legendary Marketer. And every now and then I get the honor and the pleasure of hopping in for Dave and sitting down with one of our amazing students, marketers, entrepreneurs from our community. And that is no different today. I am excited about our guest today. She is in a pretty cool niche that I can't wait to share with all of you and share her story and all of that good stuff. But before we bring her on, if you would love to be on Wake Up Legendary, you have a unique audience, a unique story, a unique niche, and unique angle, we would love to have you on. All you need to do is head over to legendarymarketer.com/featured. Fill out the form and you might be on a future episode of Wake Up Legendary. And if you want this cool shirt like I have right here, or you want to throw your own hat down just like Dave does every time you have a kick-ass win of the day, head over to belegendary.shop and you can grab your own legendary gear over there. And last but not least, if you're new here and want a reminder, every time we go live here on Facebook, Monday through Friday with Wake Up Legendary, all you need to do is text the letters WUL to 813-296-8553, and it will opt you in to our daily texts just when we go live. There aren't any other texts that are involved there, so you'll just get that daily reminder text that we are live. All right, I see the room is filling in. So excited. We have a big group here already. Washington, Florida, South Carolina. I love it. Please help me welcome Barb to the show. Good morning, Barb.
Good morning.
So where are you joining us from?
Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Arkansas. Have you always lived there?
Yes, most of my life. I was born in a different town close by, but yes.
Nice. So what brought you to Legendary? How did you find us? What were you looking for? All of that good stuff.
Well, my husband and I raised our 4 children and sent them off to college, and then they all graduated, or one is in the process, but he went to the Army first, so he's on his own. But they all moved out, and then we looked around and we didn't have any retirement, we didn't have any play money, and we couldn't enjoy the empty nester experience like we wanted to. So I thought, well, let me see what I can find. And I decided that online was probably the route I should take because that's where everything's going. Even though I didn't have a lot of skills or knowledge or anything like that with any of the tech. And then I came across my favorite lady and Mama in Pajamas. And, and then I watched her for a while and sat on it, and then finally decided, what's $7? I'll try it out, and did it, and everything's history after that.
Right. So you sat on it. You first saw some videos, and then you just kept watching more and more videos. What was your worry in that moment?
I think it was more that I didn't have the tech skills, and I didn't have the confidence in myself. I think is probably most of my worry. And me, like the rest, I don't know why I thought $7 was a big issue, but for some reason it seemed like a big issue. It's not, but it seemed like it.
I know we're holding on to it like it's our whole retirement in that $7, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll go buy a cup of coffee with not even a thought in mind. So it was funny how that was an issue for me. I don't know if it was just because it was an online purchase, and I'm kind of old school, so we grew up in a different environment, and so online purchases can be a little risky, we think.
Yeah. So what do you think in that moment helped you get past the tech worry?
Well, as soon as I saw the education, and
Mhm.
as soon as I was able to see the step by step and how they worked through it and that sort of thing, and to know that there was this huge community that I could ask questions at any time, any point in time,
Right.
and Kayla was also there for me. I just decided I can learn on my own, and there is a YouTube video for anything that you don't understand. So as long as you can pull up a YouTube video, you got it covered.
You just got to be open to continue to learn, right?
Yes.
Instead of seeing it as, oh, this is a roadblock. This is my sign to quit. It's like,
Yes.
no, this is just my sign to learn something.
Yep, that was it. And I was ready to learn. I'm education is the best thing, and if I don't have to go 4 years to college to get what I can get, I'm all about that.
Right. I love it. I love it. So we've overcome the tech issue. Did you feel like it was heavy? Because I know there's already, I'm seeing people in the comments, that's where I'm at. I'm overwhelmed with tech. I'm now stopped. I'm stuck. I haven't taken action because of that worry. What's your advice just on that tech like hang up that sometimes people have?
Well, keep going. I mean, I ran into problem after problem after problem, and I
Mhm.
just had to keep going. My first thing that I would recommend is get help. I didn't utilize Drew and Ryan, as much as I should have. I
Right.
was trying to do it all on my own, but get help. There's a big, huge support. Ask your question. It just I feel like if you let that stop you, then you're gonna let too many things stop you. So you need to keep going.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter how many questions it is. And we have that those daily live calls for Blueprints members where you can hop on with Drew, Ryan, and now Paula. We have
Yeah.
another coach that's added to the team as well. And I think sometimes our members from conversations are like, well, I asked a question last week. Like, come every day and ask a question. Come
Yes.
every day till you get it. Right?
Exactly. Exactly. A lot of times you don't learn something overnight, and this is a step by step, and there's a lot to learn, and just you've got to take it on one step at a time. If you try to build it too fast, then yeah, you're going to run into roadblocks. You just got to set your goals that I'm going to learn this today, I'm going to conquer this, and then go forward.
Oh, I love that. And sometimes we set like really like it's good to have really big goals, but it's hard day to day, right?
Well, even with those big goals, you can have the little steps that you can set as goals. Like, here's what I'm going to do to get to this goal. And, at first, whenever I'm working with people that are starting, that I feel like they've got this huge goal and they don't have any steps in between. Well, then they're disappointed because they didn't get to this huge goal they have set for themselves overnight. And it's just that's not how anything works, really. I mean,
Yeah.
if
Yeah, instead of like having my entire funnel set up tomorrow, I'm just going to get my domain connected. I'm just going
yes,
to get my headline set. I'm just going to make sure my button works. I'm just going to write little
right,
tiny steps maybe to
little
break it
thing.
down
Yep.
and figure it out. And then you start gaining more confidence in yourself.
Exactly. You feel like you've accomplished something.
Yeah.
If you have this big goal and that's all you're seeing, and you've got these steps that you've got to go through to get there, and you are struggling with some of those steps, you just feel like you're not hitting your goal when honestly you are accomplishing every day something. So it just helped me to set my goals a little. I just had to set back and set my goals smaller, and make sure it was something that I could reach. Because, like I said, I didn't have much tech skills at all, and I had zero social media skills.
Right.
Zero. So,
You're just starting and launching. But even if we've all been on social media, when you're starting a new business, you got to start a new account. So you're at day one, 0 followers,
mhm.
just like everyone else when they start this.
Yes. And with my followers, that was one of my goals too that I had set, was just like little bits. And so like Facebook is where I started, because that's kind of more familiar, where I was more familiar with Facebook. And so I started that, and then I had 200 followers, and I was just happy about that. Each one I would just get so excited. And then it ended up that I posted a video, it went crazy, it had over 6 million views. My Facebook account went from 200 to 73,000 in 2 days. I didn't know how to handle that. My Facebook glitched and I wasn't able to access it. And so that was a bit overwhelming. So to me, my steps went so fast. I didn't know how to handle it. And then whenever I went back to, just step by step. So when I started my Instagram, I'm doing a slower growth that I prefer. It works better for me. I know not everybody is looking for that, but it works better for me, and I'm connecting better.
Right. So I love your niche. You're in the finance niche, and you're talking a lot about budgeting, and you've even built out a course. You have your own kind of like challenge. Maybe I don't have the right wording.
Yeah, that's it.
Share with all of us all the details, spill the scoop of the content you're creating, the course you have built out, which is one of our 4 core business models, on top of being an affiliate for some budgeting programs and software and things like that. So share with us those details.
Well, with the budgeting, I mean, that's something that people overlook all the time, and they feel like they just, but if you don't know where your money is going, you're not going to be able to accomplish any kind of financial, freedom, or whatever the keywords are. But so budgeting to me is something that you have to set as a habit. I mean, it's no different than brushing your teeth or showering. I mean, it's just, to me, it has to be a habit. So it's something that a lot of us aren't taught early on. And so we have to learn it ourselves and put forth the habit our own for ourselves. And so that's what I'm just trying to help do, and to give inspiration for it. I mean, I've even got, inspirational songs, depending on the genre that you might listen to, that I send out in my budgeting email campaign that I have. And I give all kinds of different encouraging ways to budget. And then I did the challenge that you mentioned, and it's the penny pinching Powerball is what it's called. And it's a Don't Be Broke challenge series that challenges you to stay on budget and still have the fun, so it's basically just a challenge that I encourage everybody to do with their friends or family, and it doesn't cost much. And I do all kinds of different things that they can do that day without spending money.
So I love this. So are you a finance background? Do you have a degree, a master's degree in finance? No, guys, she doesn't need to be an expert, but she has experience of, man, I blew the budget all the time in my family, probably, right? And you had to figure out ways to make budgets work. And so she's sharing her experience through that process, because she knows others, just like she would sit down with a friend and be like, oh, I had that issue. This is what helped me. That's all you need to be, is one step ahead than your audience.
That's it. And that's what it was. It's basically what I'm doing is, here's everything I did wrong, and here's how I learned how you can do it differently. That's all it is.
Right. And sharing stories from where it was affecting you and how you came forward. And that's your content. Those are your values. And that challenge, that's an awesome piece of value of ongoing content for your audience.
Well, even like some of us, there's so many times that, like, how many times have and there have been a lot of others that have connected with me that say it, same thing with them. They were scared to look at their checking account. So it was out of sight, out of mind. They didn't even, take care of it. I was there, and I had put myself in that situation, and it only made everything worse. So if I can set up doing this on a daily basis, budgeting, and I had to learn how to do that, then I can move forward from there. So, And, it helps to have some sort of better income to be able to work with that at times, but not everybody is in that situation. So budgeting is your first important step, in my opinion.
Yeah. And just being empowered to look at your bank account, being empowered with knowledge and connecting with someone else that gets it. And that's really what this is you are making online friends. No matter what niche you're in, you're connecting with like interests, like goals, like pain points and experiences of others that you can help just like you would with a friend in real life. And I think we kind of overthink it a little bit. What are your thoughts on that when giving advice to somebody that's looking for what niche should I go into? Who should I talk to? What's your advice with that?
My advice is, what do you like to do? What do you enjoy? What are you passionate about? And even though I didn't have the finance backing and I didn't have any kind of, finance knowledge, education, anything of that, I found myself constantly telling other people, make sure you set up a retirement, make sure you do this budgeting. Like my kids, I wore them out with it. And so that's where I was like, that's my passion. I'm passionate for everybody to get in a better situation than I put myself in, and I want to use my experience to help them. And so that's what I did. So whether it's, you might know a lot about chickens and nobody else does.
Right.
So, you can tell people how to raise their chickens. What's the best way to do? I mean, it's anything. I mean, I know a lot of people do dog training or anything like that. But, what if you've got different good tricks in your kitchen that you like to use that, works well for your cleaning process? Share that. I mean, just anything. I just think anything that somebody likes to do that you're passionate about, somebody else out there needs it.
Yep, and looking for it. And even chickens, let me tell you, there are a massive number of people that love chickens, and there are just channels with chicken-only content.
Yes.
There is everything. And, I see someone's like, I don't know what to do. I don't have anything interesting. I don't like anything. You do like something. You have knowledge. That's where this self-worth or confidence needs to come in, and you have interests, and there's other people out there with the same ones.
Yeah. And you can ask people around you, people in your family. I mean, you might pick and choose the ones you ask, but ask them, what do you think I'm good at? And don't have them answer you face to face, because they're going to say, they're going to talk about your character, that you're polite and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Have them answer you outside of face to face, so that they can think about it a minute and say, you know what, you really helped me in this situation before, because you gave me courage or whatever. And they'll come up with a better solution than at your face, I promise.
I love that idea. I've actually done an exercise like that where we were supposed to text like 15 people in our life and ask them what's their favorite quality of us. And it was it was a scary text to send, but it was really interesting to see the answers.
Yeah.
I recommend it, honestly.
I think that'd be fun, actually.
I don't know what's good about me, moment. That's a really good exercise to try.
Yeah.
It's very eye-opening for sure.
It is.
Definitely. So when you started your niche and it's day one, 0 followers, did you have that anxiety about your first video because you weren't on social media?
Yeah, I'm not an extremely shy person, so that part wasn't necessarily there. So, but just the not just thinking, okay, how am I supposed to do this and have success with it? Do I know how to do this without the success? So there again, it was just more about the confidence in what I'm going to do. And quickly I learned it doesn't matter. If I mess up, no big deal. People will laugh at me, or they won't, or they'll just ignore what I put out there. I can put out another one. You can't mess it up. You just can't. And, just if you're not doing anything, then you're not going to go anywhere. You have to do something, whether it's a mess or not. And I'm telling you, I've had plenty of messes. Plenty. My first live, my sound didn't work. So I didn't have any sound on my phone. And so then I went to use my computer. My computer somebody was borrowing. And so I went to use my computer. Well, then I realized the one I had at home, it didn't have a camera. I didn't even know that before. So then I had no sound on one thing and then no picture on the other, no video on the other thing. And I completed that live and people stuck with me. They were great. But I'm telling you, you just do it. It doesn't matter. Just
through it. Yeah, you just keep going. I mean, yesterday our Wake Up Legendary, Dave was on here with our guest and she kept freezing. She kept getting kicked from the room because her internet was going in and out. And he was just cool as a cucumber, chill, just kept rolling. She'd pop in and out and they would just keep going with the conversation. And there's beauty in that because it shows it's just real. It's human. It's human. It's not all staged and kind of planned out. And in today's world and on social media, that's what people want to see, quite honestly.
Yes. Well, and even like not only just with all my messes that I've had to deal with, I mean, there's a little mess going on with my link right now. So my social medias are without a link. So I had to figure out a way to make that work. And I did, but it's a little more time consuming, but it's, you just do what you've got to do and you just keep doing it.
Right. So, it's just a small roadblock.
Yes.
And we work through it no matter what it is. It doesn't, just because there's not a link, it doesn't mean, now I can't post anything. No, grow your online friends, grow your followers with value-filled content and get them engaging that way. And grow that, know, like, trust factor. And that's a step that a lot of new entrepreneurs in the digital marketing space tend to skip.
Yeah.
I've decided I'm going to do this. So I'm going to post a video. I'm going to have my link immediately, and I'm going to have all the things. All the people are going to click it. And that's where it takes time. And that's what we have to cultivate, just like you would in real life, a friendship. Or a relationship with somebody. You're not going to show up on the first date and be like, all right, let's have a shared bank account. Let's get married tomorrow. You would feel really weird if that happened. And the same thing with social media, right? We got to build some give and take, have some coffee a few times, that sort of thing, and build that trust that way.
Well, and for me, I have really loved it. I have loved the connections that I've made with the different members of social media. And I've really, really enjoyed that. And now, I know everybody wants for all this money to come piling in. And I know that for some, it has happened like that, but it's very rare and it's not something that's going to happen for all of us. And so for me to be able to, get started and get going with it, I started out with the idea of, I know this is not going to be an overnight success for me. I know this. And so, but it is going to be a long-term success. And it already is 5 months in, and I'm already seeing more than I really expected to see. The growth is unreal. The growth in myself is amazing. And I can't express the appreciation that I have for the course, for the blueprints, just that were able to help me build in a creativity I didn't even know I had. And then the confidence that has really strengthened and just the excitement of it all. And to know that this is what I'm going to do. This is it for me. And so it's great. I love it. And I hope everybody can have that success mindset.
I need a hat. Where's the hat? It's a hat throwdown moment. Just like Dave would be throwing his hat like 3 times. That is huge what you just shared, because it's more than money.
It is.
It's more than money. And when you connect to, instead of looking for like quick overnight changes, but really look at the person that you're stepping into, the new version of you that you're stepping into, the newfound confidence, the newfound self-worth, the newfound long-term goals, like you shared. Um, that's
Well,
huge,
my
absolutely huge.
my set, when I wrote everything down, my first thing that I wrote down whenever I did the first course and what my goals were and that kind of stuff, I wrote that if I want to try to get money overnight, I'll go play the lottery. If I want to succeed in a business, then I will do affiliate marketing. So that was what I said, that I want a successful business that I was able to make myself. And now I do believe in manifesting, your goals, and I say those every morning, and I make sure that those are what I'm going for. And so I do that. But as far as everything else, I set my goals small, and that way I feel successful in each one of them.
Yeah, that is huge. That's huge. And we can talk all about just going and playing the lottery. If you just want to have some quick cash overnight and not have to put in the work, not have to change anything about you, not have to change any mindset, still have all of your struggles, still stay stuck.
Yes.
And usually when people play the lottery, they're throwing down 20, 50, $100, but won't put $7 down to check out, because you have to actually do work.
Yes.
And like Michael says, I shared it on the screen, this is more about self-development than anything else, guys. And that's where the roadblocks usually are, is you have to face some fear. You have to face some kind of negative thoughts that have been kind of living in you a little bit, that we got to overcome.
Yes, I agree. And for me to face those fears, with all that I had, just wondering, will I succeed at this? Is this something that I can do? Because, I put my age in there, and just not having the tech skills, not having social media skills. I also work a full-time job, so I worried about not having the time. But I have been able to do all of that, and all because I had the strive to do so. And if somebody is willing to put in the effort, it's honestly easy. You just have to put in the effort. And I love it. And I never ever thought I would enjoy it as much as I do. And I've done several other side hustles. I've been an Uber driver, a Lyft driver. I've done the food deliveries. I've babysat. I've done all of that. And this is extremely rewarding. It's enjoyable, and I've said it before, it's addictive. I want to be able to have more time in the day to put toward it and I don't right now, but one day I will.
That's right. That's right. It's addictive. We'll use that word because it makes you feel good, and you love the audience that you're connecting to. And like you shared earlier, there's joy in creating content because you're in a niche and you're talking to people that you enjoy connecting with online. And that's a huge key that I think some people also overlook. For those that are just looking for what was the viral video, what's the offer that's converting the highest right now, and then they hop around from offer to offer to offer because it's hot or it looks hot right now, they never build a true following and connection that will last long term.
Yes. And for me, that's very important. And like I said, I really, really enjoy the connections that I've built. And like with Facebook, I lost those connections. I mean, my Facebook account, well, one, I set it up wrong. I think I have a profile instead of a page. So, I mean, I messed up from the very beginning, but it worked. I was able to make it work for me, and it is actually over 200,000 followers. But I don't have the connection that I do with my little bitty 1,100 followers on Instagram. So, I mean, you can get that viral video if you want, but if you don't have the connection with that, it's not going to do you any good. And
you can have 200,000 followers, but it doesn't mean anything if none of them are excited about you enough that they want to buy something.
Exactly.
But 500 that are super pumped, feel connected, they trust you, they can't wait to see your next video, are clicking links and buying things all day long and will continue to. And there is more value in that smaller connected group than the followers that are like, I don't even remember that I follow this person.
Yeah. Yes. Then that's it. So, I mean, like, I feel like I gained a lot of those lottery purchasers from that instead of, education purchasers that want to help themselves, that want to better their life. And so, but
yes. Oh my gosh. I love this quote, Rick. If you're going to walk through that house of fear, walk through it like you own it.
exactly. Exactly.
Right. Embrace the fear. Don't try and get rid of it. It's going to be there no matter what. And we're going to own this bitch. We're going to own it.
Exactly. Yes.
I love that. I see some people like, oh, should we have a business page? Should we use our personal profile? Guys, the thing about social media, I can poll 100 people and 50 of them will say, use a profile. That's where I had the most success. And the other 50 will say, use a business page. That's where I had my most success. You have to test it for you and however your unique audience works with Facebook. It varies, it changes. And sometimes it's really random, and just test it out and see which one works for you best. But there is no right or wrong in that.
And I may have said that wrong. I may not even, I'm telling you, I still don't know a whole lot about this tech stuff or social media stuff, but I may have said that wrong. I just know with the Facebook that I have, I don't have much control over it. I can't monetize it. I can't do anything with it. So that's all.
Yeah, you just got a lot of followers, but that's good. And maybe they'll start connecting more over time, but it's going to take a little longer.
They are. And I think that's another one of my growth processes, is that I have learned how to reach a better audience than I did in the beginning. So yeah, it is much better now. But what, that first 100,000 that I got, it wasn't who I was wanting to reach.
Right. And the clicks to your link were not rolling in every second. No. Which I think is important for everyone to really hear this and reassess goals instead of vanity follower count. Go focus back on your content. How can I add more value? How can I connect with my ideal audience? That's how you're going to get those higher views with the right people that are excited to engage. It almost always comes back to your content, what's in there. Can the algorithm bot of Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook identify who this video is for, who you're trying to reach, what their interests would be, what their age group is, all of that. Those are important things that need to be clear in your content over time.
Yes.
As well. Instead of just like, hey, go click my link in my bio. Don't be a door-to-door salesman online, guys.
Right. The value needs to be there. And that's where I get a lot of engagement with that. And like my, the little challenge that I have, just the don't be broke.
I love it, because what you did is you had a fun name with it. Mm-hmm. It's a series. It's long term. You're not showing up and disappearing. It shows that, hey, I really care about my audience. So here's this really cool challenge I made up, and we're going for it. And you're able to share stories, advice, tips, build connection. It does all the right things. And that's beautiful. And because of that, you are having people reach out to you and asking questions and engaging. And
Well, and they'll tell me, guess what I did this weekend? I went and did this challenge, and they'll tell me all about it. And I love hearing it. It's so exciting. And some of them send me videos that, look, this is what we were doing. It's fun. I love it. I love seeing other people have fun with, something that was kind of an idea that I set forth with them. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah. And you're seeing the difference you're making.
Yes. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help because I had myself in a situation that I want to prevent everybody else from being in.
Yeah. That's what's huge, is identifying and connecting with your audience and going, this would have been really helpful for me 6 months ago, a year ago. I'm going to share these tips that I've learned along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is, guys. It's not becoming or trying to fake being some major expert, educated in a field. It's just like, this is what worked for me. Go check it out. See if it works for you.
Exactly. And it may not work for them. But yeah, but it worked for me.
But that's what we do with our friendships too. If we can change our focus to that we're building friends, and instead of having conversations in real life over coffee, we're having conversations through content in our videos. I think it'll be a lot easier to create content for some people.
Yes.
Which is really key. So what is your advice for someone sitting in the challenge right now, feeling the overwhelm?
Just step back. Set your goals, list them one at a time, and set your goal, but take steps in the goal, and use the challenge to help you with those steps. It tells you what to do next, what to do next, what to do next. So make those your small goals to get to your big goals, so that way you feel like you've got your accomplishments and you're stepping forward and use all of the help that you can. And I wouldn't have made it without the blueprints. Would not have made it without the blueprints. And I think that that to me was exactly what was able to push me forward. Now, I will say that on day one, after I was into the challenge or whatever, I knew right then that was going to be what I did to bring in my extra income and to put my family in a better situation. So I don't know if everybody else gets that right off the bat, but I did. So I knew I was all in.
Yeah. I love that the challenge lets people just see what it is. It's what does this business look like? What does this path look like? And it's not necessarily for everyone, but for $7, you get a really good inside look and feel for, is this what I want to step into in my next stage? Do I want to go all in and work this out? And you can make that decision whether or not you buy the blueprints or any of our other products. Yes, we have a variety of offers. They're all optional. They're not required. Right. And each person, only you know best what you need as far as education, additional support. Some need it, some don't, but only you can decide that and know that. And I love that was something that you knew for yourself. That was what you needed.
Yep. Now, somebody else, like for instance, my youngest daughter, she could watch that $7, 15-day challenge. She could take that and she could go from there and not need anything else.
Right.
But not me. So I knew what I needed.
Right. And that's what's important. And that's what, nobody's forcing anything down your throat, guys. Yes, Marketers Club is another amazing option, and things that we have a variety of products here. But ultimately, it's first deciding, do I want to go all in? Am I ready to tackle the roadblocks, the highs, the lows, the challenges, and step into this next version of myself in this next stage of my life?
Yeah. Well, the other thing that was so great for me is I knew that the success I was going to have was in my hands. Like, I was going to be the one that was doing this. Nobody else was going to do it for me. So I was going to take the steps that I knew that were best for me and to go with that. But like you said, not everybody has those same steps, and you just got to make it work for you.
That's a huge nugget of advice, guys. We got to step into anything we do, whatever we're learning. It doesn't matter if it's this, learning how to train a dog. We can't step into something, go, all right, I'm going to pay for this, and then I want someone else to do it all for me. I want them to change my mindset. I want everything just to happen for me, like we bought a lottery ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
Investing in your education is not like buying a lottery ticket where you're just like, oh, I'm going to be a multimillionaire tomorrow. You still have to step in.
We all want that.
And put in the work and be willing to learn. And it's not just learning skills, it's evaluating where our mindset is and making some of those adjustments too.
Yes. And
what advice would you give yourself that you wish you knew when you started?
Well, like I said before, I wish I would have utilized the help better than I did, rather than just kind of stumbling along and trying to figure things out on my own, because I felt like I would be a burden and a nuisance, calling and asking, like you said earlier, you got that same question, call every day. And the thing that I realize now, I do have my regular job, so I'm not able to do the live calls with Drew or Ryan and maybe now Paula, but I can watch those videos and I learn huge from those. And most of the time, it's going to help me in something that I didn't know and I was not doing correctly. And now I can fix that. So it might even offers me on things. It helps me with things that I didn't know I had questions about and that I was able to correct and fix. And so that was my big thing that I messed up with in the beginning, is that I didn't utilize everything I had. I didn't use all my tools.
Right.
And I should have.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we got to get rid of the pride, or I'm not worthy of getting my questions answered. I always say that on Decade in a Day. You are worthy of all of your questions. So reach out, email Drew and Ryan, hop on the Saturday once a month support 101 call if you can't make the weekday ones. And absolutely, every question and answer, I guarantee, is sitting in those recordings.
And Decade in a Day has helped huge too. Like I rewatch everything all the time, and I didn't in the beginning, and it would have put me in a better place probably, but maybe, I don't know. I'm in a good place. I like where I'm at. So, I mean,
it was part of the journey that got you to here. So I say no regrets.
No regrets.
That was what happened. Maybe if I could do it over again, I would do it different. But at the same time, look at where you're at. Look at all of the changes that have happened with you personally, with even your outlook on life. And those are huge.
Yes, it is. It is huge. And it's huge to my family too. I mean, they get tired of my excitement, but
But they probably love seeing more excitement than stress.
Oh, yes.
Right? That they probably saw a little more of before.
Yes, a lot before.
And that's huge, guys.
It is huge.
How you show up to your loved ones can change through this process.
Yep. And it did. And they can all tell. And, the other thing is too, is just being able to create something that for a fact is going to help someone else, even if it's just one person, that's going to help somebody. That's very encouraging to me. So that was like my children. I don't want them to be in the situation I am. And so I was able to get them straight with what they needed and that kind of stuff. Now, I will say my youngest daughter, she just graduated from college and she's got a marketing degree. And I've learned a lot more than she has in her 4 years in school.
True.
And
So they're behind in marketing
mhm.
in college, unfortunately. And a lot of the professors have never done anything online.
Yep. She ran into that a lot.
Yeah.
And so she was able to ask me questions, and I was able to help my youngest daughter that knows all about social media and is extremely well at any kind of tech you give her and that kind of stuff. And I was able to answer some questions and help her through with some things. And, you know, who would have thought that that would have ever happened?
Yep.
So, yeah,
it's true. I mean, I know it's in the blueprints. I know how absolutely in depth it is. As long as you're willing to really dive in and go for it and learn and implement at the same time. You're going to learn a lot by implementing and putting it into practice and testing it. And like you shared earlier, creating videos that are messy and do content that's messy and have your funnel be messy. And that's how you actually improve it and grow.
Yes.
All the way around, which is huge. I love it. Love it. Love it.
I learn as much from my mistakes as I do anything else. So they stick with me a little more so.
Mistakes are a part of life.
Yes.
It's normal. We need to normalize mistakes as just moments of learning, moments of improvement. We have to have them in order to get to where we want to go. That's the reality. So if we try to find perfection or everything has to be perfect with zero mistakes along the way, along the journey, we're going to end up staying exactly where we're at right now. Stuck.
Exactly. Yep. Got to keep moving.
I keep moving. This has been an amazing conversation. I absolutely loved it. You need to come back. I want updates. I definitely want Dave to meet you as well.
Thank you.
I know he would love a conversation with you too. So you got to come back. If we don't reach out for a second interview, reach out to us. We definitely, you're automatically invited back. So
thank you very much.
Don't hesitate. Like, oh, I shouldn't reach out. Reach out if we have to reach out to you. We want you back on for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure. And thank you, Barb. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, everyone, please go follow Barb on Instagram at Empty Nester Goals. All connected, no spaces, no underscores. Empty Nester Goals. Go check her out on Instagram. Check out her content. Give her some love. Comment, like, follow, all that good stuff. Let her know that you saw her on Wake Up Legendary. She's in a really cool niche, if anybody missed it. She's in the finance niche, does a lot of budgeting, has her own course, built a whole challenge within that niche. And it's just really cool how she's taking all the 4 core models that we use and teach here and driving them into her own online business that she's building, which is just super cool to see. We are back tomorrow. Dave is on tomorrow and Friday. We have Decade in a Day on Friday with me and Drew. So if you're a Blueprints member, hop in on there. We're going to have a blast. And as always, everyone, stay legendary. Peace.